Sometimes I see it with you and Mom, kind of.
Yeah, don't. Dude, be careful. This is recorded.
Just like, your beard's good.
Wow.
Oh, you mean like her saying now?
Yeah. Grace, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. Well, Mom has nothing to lose either, but she just says, your beard sucks. Shave.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Nexus podcast. As always, we're in the den. We're in the Nexus building. Pastor Ron, Jack, and myself. And we got a lot to talk about today. We got the retreat coming up in 2 weeks.
It's more like 3 to. It's the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So we're about 28 days away or something like that. I'm not good at math off the top of my head.
20-ish.
20-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be good. Camp Awana. People are excited about going back to the frozen tundra of Wisconsin.
Yay.
And the great outdoors at Camp Awana.
So thrilled.
If you come, you get to see Jack and the monkey hat.
Oh, yeah.
You better pull that out.
Of course.
Yeah, because that
always comes out.
We haven't seen the monkey hat all winter yet.
He's had that since 6th grade.
Yeah.
And on a fall retreat, we had an emotional moment, didn't we?
We had a breakdown.
Yeah, we did. When that thing got lost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good thing his dad was there, because then I didn't have to deal with Jack crying. Because it's
a lot.
It was.
In fairness, it was a while ago.
Yeah. It was.
It was last year.
You're almost.
I couldn't,
You beat me to it.
Little 6th grade Jack. That was, wow. Jack's came a long way since 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
He was quiet and to himself in 6th grade.
Yeah, I know a lot of people can't envision Jack being quiet.
Yeah, because now he's the life of the party.
Yeah.
Some
crummy party, but
well, it's
still
your friends.
Party.
It's your friends, he says.
Yeah.
They bring me down, but I try to bring them up. But all at the same time, it's so hard. It's so difficult to do.
And the good news is you're kidding.
Yeah.
All you pretty rich kids.
Crazy.
You just introed the whole last night, right?
I know.
We're in right into the friend topic that we talked about with Jonathan and David in 1 Samuel 18 and 1 Samuel 23.
15.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
We got 11
we missed
more
a lot
weeks.
of stuff.
But we talked about Jonathan and David and what makes good friends, what makes good godly friends.
Yeah. And the book says, what is true friendship and why are friends important in our lives? We all need good friends that walk with us in our joys and struggles. And we also need friends as we follow Jesus and live in community together. So what did we read yesterday?
What passages?
Yeah.
1 Samuel 18, 1 through 5, and 1 Samuel 23, 15 through 18. The first 5 is about Jonathan and David's connection and their love for one another, and then the promise and covenant that they made with each other, and then Jonathan's willingness to give up and sacrifice for David. And then the second part, 23, is about another covenant and promise they made, and then Jonathan and David bonding in that with God. So,
And I know when we were doing the leadership thing, you had sent me some sections in there about what that looks like, being friends and leaders in the same context. So, what were the big takeaways of the teaching yesterday? Oh, Jack's he's got to go to the book.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was so good that it all went over my head.
Hopefully someone went in your head.
Go over your head.
Oh, yeah. I like this where you, because David is a shepherd and Jonathan is the heir to the throne. And I wrote down, God's going to put people in our life that we would never have expected. God does that to prove that He is in control. And like in my life, people teach me things I wouldn't have been able to know without them teaching me it.
People that you wouldn't have expected to be able to do that?
Yeah.
How so?
Like you have one friend who is not a Christian.
Yeah.
But then they teach you, not like purposefully, but they teach you something that you didn't know about, like Christianity and how that affects or applies to your life.
Okay.
And how other people see you as a Christian.
Oh, that's interesting. So you get an outsider perspective on what people think your life is like.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Yeah. What did you and your friends talk about in your small group?
We mainly focus on like the trust and the affection that Jonathan and David had, and that they loved each other as their own. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan gave David his birthright, which obviously is a hard thing to do, but I think I wrote down that if you have a best friend who, or just any friend, and you know they're really good at tech or something, and then you get put in a place to do tech, it wouldn't make sense if you weren't supposed to do tech, if you're not good at it like me, to do tech when Miles is here and he's a smart cookie and he can do tech. So I would give my spot over to Miles.
Yeah. That's good.
I think it's important to surround yourself with people who think differently. Mm-hmm. They have different temperaments, talents, convictions, thoughts, so that you can grow and build your life in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. And the trust thing you said at the beginning is good because in the story, obviously David trusted Jonathan. It's not necessarily written into the text, but we can understand that because Jonathan can go tell his dad where David was.
Right.
Because so David had trust in Jonathan for his life, because if Jonathan would have went and told his dad where he was or what he was doing, then Saul would have been prone to go and take David's life. And so that was because Saul was jealous of David. And we know that because, the text says that Saul killed thousands of men and David killed 10,000s of men. And so Saul had this jealousy for David because everything he did outdid what he did.
Right.
Because God was blessing David. So, David had trust in Jonathan not to where he was at, or that he wasn't going to tell his dad, which is good. And that's a big part of friendship, transparency and trust. So,
yeah, I know. Grace said she really liked the teaching yesterday too, because we talked about it a little bit. I picked her brain a little bit when we were having dinner tonight, just to get a better idea of what that was and what you guys talked about. I think that friendship is so important, mm-hmm. and it's one of those things that's incredibly tricky. Mm-hmm. I can name a number of times where I thought I was in a friendship with somebody, like a trusted relationship, and it turned out it was very one-sided. Mm-hmm. And just trying to identify those things and not get jaded and closed off from it. Just having the ability and the freedom to put yourself back out there again and engage with people, because, a friendship relationship is still a relationship, and it can jack you up.
Yeah.
And then so just that idea of being able to tread that, and then we talked about it a little bit on Sunday morning, the idea of forgiveness and forgetting and everything like that. And I think any relationship you're in or situation, it's important to forgive, but not necessarily forget. Remember that stuff and take it in so that you can be aware of what's happening the next time.
Yeah.
So Grace was saying that you were also talking about like what it looks like to have a best friend, or just she calls them background characters. So
That's a good.
So Grace has this whole. We should have made her come tonight.
Yeah.
She's got this whole view of her life, right? Where her life is a TV show. And so her inner circle and her main friends are the main characters. They're the reoccurring people that are on the show every week. And then there's like the guest appearances. And then there's the background characters that just like you just see them walk past the camera, the extras. And so, that's kind of how she breaks out her friend groups and her relationships and what that looks like. And some people have to be written off the show from time to time.
There you go.
They got contract disputes, so they got to just get written out of the show. So how do we apply Daniel and Jonathan to today?
Well, I mean, David and Jonathan had God at the center of their relationships, which was what bonded them. And then they had a mutual affection and love for one another, which bonded them. And then they made covenants and promises that bonded them with God and with each other. And the reality of that, kind of like the analogy of the main cast and the extras, everybody can't be in the main cast.
Right.
So you can't have...
Unless it's the Avengers.
You can't have...
Then you just have the craziest budget ever.
Relationships like David and Jonathan in your life. You just don't have the capacity for that. So, I mean, a lot of times you can have 2 to 4, usually, that you can really keep going and invest in and have the same level of mutual connection and give and take in the relationship and be willing to, like in the story, sacrifice what you need to for that person. So you can't expect to have, like sometimes students say, everyone's my best friend.
Right.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
That's not possible.
Yeah. You're not going to trust everybody well enough to tell them every dirty secret in your life.
And if you think you do, you should probably scale that back a bit.
So, everybody can't be Jack's best friend. As hard as that is for them to hear, you can only have a few.
Mine's very small.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be. I mean, those best, like, best is the word best for a reason, right? Like, best is like the 1 or 2, 3 things that happen that are like, this is the best part of my day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not this is my whole day.
Yeah.
This is every hour and every moment of my day. It's the best. It's the highlights. It's the segments that you want to tell people about. And I think that's important to designate those areas of your life when it's friendships, best friends, close friends, friends, acquaintances, background characters. And I think it's okay. It's good to put yourself out there for those people that are closest to you, and do those things. I think it's one of those things. So friendships change too.
Yeah, sometimes,
Relationships change, and I think it's okay to recognize that.
Yep. Sometimes friendships are just for middle school, and sometimes they're from birth to high school, and then you never see the person again.
Yeah.
So, and then sometimes you get college friends, and you see them for 4 years of your life, and then you never see them again. And then sometimes you have friends that are from birth till you die.
Yeah.
So, And friendship's a unique thing too, because at some point in your life, this is typically as you get older, you can have peer friends. Like high schoolers can have friends that are in high school, but then they can also have friends that are college students and adults in their life. And then as you get older, you can have friends that are your same age or, 20, 30 years older than you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I'm almost 50, and one of my best friends is 72, so I think there's a little bit of distance between the two of us. So
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I think sometimes, just like people are hoarders with stuff.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people become hoarders of people too,
Yeah.
and they're afraid to not throw them away, but let them go so that you can fill your life, fill your house with the people that you really need around you.
Yeah.
How do you do that? I mean, you have in here in question 4, how important is it for us to find and develop a friendship like David and Jonathan? And how do you go about finding this kind of friend?
I don't know, Jack. I think that's the answer. You got the answer.
Okay. I gotta think. We didn't do any of the questions in group.
It's a good thing they wrote the book then.
I know. I think you told me a long time ago, but you said some person that's famous or something, I don't know, said the only way you can trust someone is to just trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just trust someone and then you go off of that information or what they do with what you told you, then you'll know if it's worth proceeding and building or if it's worth looking for someone else to trust. And for me, you'll have some friends that you can trust for a while, and then it kind of just stops. Not sudden, but slowly. And you don't really recognize it, but it happens. And then someone new comes in and kind of fill their place, but in some instances, or it's his place to have.
Yeah.
And it's a new person with a new influence on my life, which I need at that moment.
Yeah.
And then why we need it is we need someone who can hold us accountable, because best friends don't really lie to each other.
They shouldn't.
No, then you're not best friends. But that's what best friends do. If you're in boyfriend or girlfriend, sometimes you gotta pity the other person. You're no, it's okay. Your sideburns look so good. It's okay.
Oh, but they do.
It's okay. It's
you can't
great.
See those at home.
It's great.
They're coming in nicely.
When you had mutton chops, oh, that was terrific. And yeah, but and sometimes I see it with you and Mom, kind of.
Yeah, be careful. This is recorded.
Just your beard's good.
Wow.
Oh, you mean her saying now?
Yeah. Grace, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. Well, Mom has nothing to lose either, but she just says, your beard sucks. Shave.
Yeah, Grace says, you look like a homeless person.
Mm-hmm.
You look like a hobo.
And I say that your beard looks good. So it goes back to what you said of you need friends who have different perspectives of life.
Yeah.
And you can take both of those viewpoints and decide not which one you want to choose, but which one would be better for you.
Sure.
Or which one's more truthful. Because if a lie can be better for you,
yeah,
But that's, in the long run, it's not better because it's a lie.
Yeah. Well, that's a good process. And like we talked about last night, having the principles of what your good friendship should look like, right? Like, because you can't do the trusting part and the building the relationship part and the honesty part without building it off of something, the foundation, right? So that's Jonathan, David built trust, and they had God as the center of their friendship, and they had this mutual affection for each other, and it was give and take, and it meant sacrifice. Like Jonathan probably ultimately gave up more to David to show him his affection and his connection to him and his love for him than David gave to Jonathan. At least in the stories that we have, it's Jonathan seems to have given more to show that. But there was both, though, a mutual give and take. And so when you have principles like that to build off of, then the relationship can then go in a good direction, right? If you don't have principles, those relationships won't grow or mature like they're supposed to. And so with your good friends, it's good to have common connections, because that's what David and Jonathan had. They had things that their desire to know God and obey God and do right with God and follow him, and then they had this mutual loyalty and respect for one another that they weren't going to let go, and then they did these.
Sometimes I see it with you and Mom, kind of.
Yeah, be careful. This is recorded.
Just like, your beard's good.
Well,
Oh, you mean like her saying now? Like,
yeah. Grace, on the other hand, has nothing to lose. Well, Mom has nothing to lose either, but she just says, your beard sucks. Shave.
Yeah, Grace says, you look like a homeless person. You look like a hobo.
And I say that your beard looks good. So it goes back to what you said of you need friends who have different perspectives of life.
Yeah.
And you can take both of those viewpoints and decide not which one you want to choose, but which one would be better for you.
Sure.
Or which one's more truthful. Because if a lie can be better for you,
yeah,
but that's, in the long run, it's not better because it's a lie.
Yeah. Well, that's a good process. And like we talked about last night, having the principles of what your good friendship should look like, right? Like, because you can't do the trusting part and the building the relationship part and the honesty part without building it off of something, the foundation, right? So that's Jonathan, David built trust, and they had God as the center of their friendship, and they had this mutual affection for each other, and it was give and take, and it meant sacrifice. Like Jonathan probably ultimately gave up more to David to show him his affection and his connection to him and his love for him than David gave to Jonathan. At least in the stories that we have, it's Jonathan seems to have given more to show that. But there was both, though, a mutual give and take. And so when you have principles like that to build off of, then the relationship can then go in a good direction, right? If you don't have principles, those relationships won't grow or mature like they're supposed to. And so with your good friends, it's good to have common connections, because that's what David and Jonathan had. They had things that their desire to know God and obey God and do right with God and follow him, and then they had this mutual loyalty and respect for one another that they weren't going to let go, and then they did these things together. So that's important as we go through the process of building relationships. We build it off of something, right? So, but you should double think whether someone should your special friend, girlfriend, she should always tell you the truth too.
She should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not, oh, that facial hair looks awesome. Keep growing it. Because that's what she's doing inside. Mm-hmm. She's humoring you.
And then you go, I thought you liked it.
Oh.
Yeah.
You told me you liked it.
And then you move to the stage of, no girl's going to tell me what I do with my face.
Yeah.
My body, my choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about the only time that works, I think.
Yeah.
Have you ever had it where you have to tell your kids that you don't like their friend, their best friend, their group?
I think sometimes you have to have boundaries with certain friendships and with your kids, because you gotta, if someone's got questionable character, you gotta have some boundaries so that everybody stays safe.
Yeah.
So, and that's all right. Like having people over just at your house, like you can invite anybody over to our house and they can hang out in the man cave. But you may not be able to go to everybody's house because we don't know them. But if you want to have them over and hang in the garage, that's great. But you can't just go everywhere.
Right.
So I think that boundaries are good and at some point, parents do though need to learn to trust, because if you don't trust, then
people can feel that.
Yeah, and then at some point they're going to do what they want, whether you want them to do it or not.
Right.
And then that's going to cause more harm at some point. So.
Yeah. And I just know that, like, there's probably going to be parents that listen to this at some point that want to know, like, how do you do that? How do you shift your kid who you see maybe going down the wrong path because they're hanging out with the wrong person over here, and how do you shift that to say, like,
it's hard.
I don't like this person.
Yeah, you gotta. It's obviously not an easy conversation for parents sometimes.
Yeah.
But boundaries are good on everything. So, and if you can't take boundaries, then you got some pride issues you gotta dig through.
That's true.
That you know that the people that care about you are doing boundaries for your best interest, not just to make life miserable.
Yeah.
So.
Because as parents, I mean, you may not know, but our goal is not to make your life miserable.
And
what?
Yeah.
But you do such a good job at it.
If someone lives in your house, you have the right to give them some boundaries, no matter how old they are.
This is true.
So.
That's why I'm never moving back with the Ep11. I don't want them to give me boundaries.
That's why Jack's never moving out. So. He's got lifelong goals.
Stay in that house with them the whole time?
Them. Them.
Yeah.
Like we're parasites. Them things.
Well, I would be at that point.
You would be the parasite just living off of us.
Yeah.
I think at that point you'd be paying rent. It'd be okay.
Yeah.
Look, we can figure all that out.
Yeah.
We won't need to.
No?
No.
Yeah.
With Grace.
You're leaving?
Yeah. Bye.
What else you got for thoughts of what we can say?
Yeah, just going back to what you said, or what you were just talking about, how you would talk to your kid about you not liking one of their friends and how they're going. If you were to do that to me, I would prefer you to do it not like, you can't hang out with them anymore. Why? Because I said so. That's not going to work. If for me, and I think for most kids out there, just talk with your kid.
The why.
Why.
Like we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm. They'll usually respect it. And if you'll give your point, and they'll give theirs. And if they do that, don't get angry.
But the why can still be because I told you so.
Yeah.
At the end.
Well, if you hit an impasse, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Because,
the hierarchy gets the final say.
well, wisdom gets the higher
Wisdom,
say,
yeah.
right? Your dad probably knows a little bit more of what goes wrong when you do get the bad friend than you do. You know, he's learned that at work. He's learned that in high school. He's learned that at college. He's learned that when he was a high school kid, when he was a middle school kid.
I learned that in prior work relationships and situations and everything else. And I think it's important to take some of that stuff in, right? Because usually you're surrounded by people who love and care about you. And if somebody says, "Why do you hang out with that person?" you should probably think about it. And if you can come up with a great reason, awesome. But you know, I had a friendship relationship like that where people would ask me all the time. We would be somewhere and they'd go, "Why do you hang out with this guy?" And I would say, I was like in an abusive relationship. I was like, "No, he's fine. He's a good guy. You guys just don't know him. I've seen him do good stuff before." And I was the one being fooled. So I thought I was in this best friend relationship, and it wasn't. And then you got to grieve that and be ready to let go of it and fill that space with people that actually that you actually do have those things with. That's good. Any other thoughts? You know what we didn't do last week, which we got to remember to do? We didn't pray last week.
Oh no!
So we'll have to.
Someone forgot their job. Like,
my boss forgot to tell me.
I know. There's plenty of blame to go around. You know, the camera didn't work.
That's your fault.
Yeah, we were just coming back to trying to get stuff figured out.
we'll blame that on technology.
Yeah.
We'll blame it on Apple.
We fixed the iPad today.
We did.
Hopefully.
Well,
As long as it got turned on, we got a video.
Well, we got that one now.
Yeah, we got two.
we're gonna try. We're gonna try.
Yeah.
It's a backup.
Yeah.
It's good to have a backup in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got? Any other thoughts for us today?
I don't know. I thought I did.
We got a good conversation on friendship. It was good.
Yeah.
So much so we may talk about friendship on Wednesday again.
You know what I think is nice is when you have those friendships where you can not talk to somebody for 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you see him again, and it's like you didn't miss a beat. Like when we went to Red Rocks worship in Colorado, like I haven't talked to my friend Aki in forever. And I called him and I was like, "Hey, I'm in the area." He's like, "Dude, let's get together." And we went, and he actually let us stay at his house. We went out to dinner. Like it was like nothing. We didn't miss a beat, and it was so cool because we've got foundational principles that keep us as friends. So no matter what we're going through in our lives, we can come back together, and we've got a grounding and a foundation. What were you gonna say?
I wrote this down. It says, best friends should be willing to do everything they can for each other, whenever and whatever. I try to do that, even for my not best friends. There was one time at school where I just met this kid in my Spanish class. And we talked, and then we started having lunch together, and I don't know, he just started talking more about his life to me, and I found out that he was in a hard spot, and it was some of the stuff that I went through too. And so there was one, I think a couple nights after, I was doing homework, and it was so late. It was like midnight, and I was doing homework, and I was nowhere close to finishing. And then he texted me. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I stopped doing my homework, and I gave him my full attention because I knew at that moment people are more important than homework, especially if it's like 20-30% of your grade. Even then, even if it's 100% of your grade, people are more important They're more important. You can just say, I'll make it up. I'll ask to make it up. It's no big deal. And
Do it in study hall.
yeah. And I talked to him for maybe 40 minutes or something. And Mom came in and she's like, what are you doing? You done yet? No. What are you doing? I'm talking to my friend. Well, why are you doing your homework? Because I have to talk to him. He's like, okay. Then she left. But, I mean, at the end, I knew it was the right thing to do. I stopped talking to him at night, and then I went back, finished my homework, and went to bed.
So I think it's great that you did that, but there were details that you could have given, right? Like, I'm talking to my friend, he's going through
Well, that was a
something.
while ago.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
other people listening, this
Yeah.
is not just the Jack Journey show. We've talked
No.
about that. But, you know, if your parents ask you something, it's because they want to get information, right? They want some sort of
Details.
answers. Details.
Oh, details.
Details
The why.
matter. So, you know, I would be willing to bet, as long as you're honest, the details will get you out of 90% of the trouble that you're going to be getting into.
Yeah.
It's the difference between getting grounded and please let me know next time. But I think what you said is true, and I think some people, I'm one of them. I find myself where I'm a people pleaser, and so I will fall into that category of like doing everything I can for anybody that asks, no matter what it is. And then I think you just spread yourself too thin, which is not good either.
Yep.
And there's two like times that I can remember where like I stopped doing what I needed to do and helped out a friend. And yeah. And that the time I just talked about was a good time and it was received well.
Yeah.
And that friendship grew. And then there was another one where I did the exact same thing and I don't know, just wasn't really appreciated. And that kind of like split in a way. The trust, I guess. Because it like, it destroys your trust in a way. And like, oh, I'll just talk to someone else then if I ever need to talk to someone.
The lack of appreciation or the gratitude that somebody would
And it's
feel for you going out of your way and doing that.
it's not even like the saying thank you, it's the repaying it if I ever needed it. Like if I ever needed my friend to stop what he's doing and like talk to me, then I would hope I have the right friend to do that.
Yeah.
And I do now.
It's good. And sometimes you have to go through hard things to figure out if it's the right person or not. And that's just part of relationships.
Yeah.
All right. Ron has been very quiet today. He came in saying, I'm tired.
Yeah. It's a long day.
Thursdays kind of, Wednesdays kind of wipe him out. I mean, you guys
They
at
wipe
Nexus,
you out.
Yeah. Wednesdays are long nights for the people in this room.
Yeah.
So
They're
Thursday,
long nights for me because they're long nights for him.
Yeah. So I mean, Thursdays we try to bring it, but sometimes it's not going to be.
Yeah, a little monotone today.
Yeah. Ron's hurting a little bit, so we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
We're gonna pray. Jack's gonna pray for us, and then we'll wrap this up and go from there. So go ahead, Jack.
God, thank you for the time that you have given us to talk about you. Even though we're all exhausted, thank you for giving us the strength to grow our relationships in you and with each other. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. So some final things. We've got rehearsals coming up for the talent show.
Yep.
Right. So if you have a talent, Get involved in the talent show so that we can do cool things like go to challenge and be able to do that kind of stuff. So
See, now you have to make sure you get this ready.
I know.
For the auditions now.
Listen, this is going to be done tomorrow. It's going to be done tomorrow. But if you don't have enough people to audition, we're going to have to extend auditions.
Yeah,
I'm
Jack
guessing.
will have to
I
do
can do
12
something.
different numbers.
That's okay. I can do it.
The Jack Variety Show.
Yeah.
Jack Variety
Jack's
Show.
Big Music Show.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
It'll
well,
be
we'll do
special.
something.
Jack's Big Show.
Yeah.
It'll be special.
Yeah.
So you got that coming up. We got the retreat that people have to register for. I got challenge in the summer.
Yep. That's about it right now. So the cold moves out.
Yeah, but that's a lot of stuff. And there's some big announcements coming at church.
Yeah. A week.
Yeah.
On this Sunday.
So big announcements
there.
coming at church.
Better be there.
That will be good for Nexus and for Big Church. So
for the summer. Yeah.
awesome things there. And then again, I'm gonna say and beg and plead that if you listen and you get anything out of this at all, pass it on to somebody. Just share it. Don't be embarrassed to share it. Just share it. And even you can even tell them, listen, you don't have to listen to the whole thing. Listen to this section.
People who watch my stuff are very good at that.
Yeah. And maybe give us a comment. If you do watch it, give us a comment. Tell us if we're too long-winded, if you want it to be shorter, you want it to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, so that we can help make this better and make it into something that people actually want to listen to and grow from. So thank you all for watching and listening.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you Sunday and Wednesday night. And take care and God bless.
Yep.
Yeah.